All right, we are starting to get rolling here. So, all right, we are live, everyone. This is Joe, aka Cinco, from Cinco Doggos Mining. I also have my co-host Bull here with me tonight. Bobby's probably not going to be able to make it. He had some stuff going on in his apartment and stuff, so he couldn't make it. He might pop in later. He might not. But we'll see what happens. As we wait for people to trickle in, I'm going to go ahead real quick, do a little housekeeping. I got to share this stuff out so everybody knows we're live. I have to add the little moderator bot to the room as well, so let me make sure that's happening, and we are going to get rolling. In the meantime, how you doing there, Bull?
Not too bad. One thing I wanted to mention that's going on right now, I didn't get to tell you, is anybody with a MK3. There's some type of hack that went on with MK3s with the cold cards.
Really?
If yeah, if anybody has a MK3, they should probably transfer to another cold storage. So
Good to
yeah, I didn't
know.
even tell you. This is new. This just went on today. So approximately, I could tell you 'cause I got pulled up on my app. 562.01 Bitcoin has been moved all in one transaction to one UTXO from, and they think it's from the MK3. So
Oh
if you go
man.
on CoinKite, they also posted something about it.
Okay. Did you share that yet on X? Because I'll make sure I
I,
share
I
that later.
reposted it so you could check my page
Right on.
and it should be on there. Yep.
Okay. Cool. 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 Well,
So
that's
I just
good to know. That sucks, but it's good to know, right? Like,
yeah, try to make people aware. I mean, don't freak out and do anything stupid and, just go crazy. I mean,
right.
take your time and do it right. And if you have another, cold wallet you could transfer to, I would recommend transfer. But as of right now, I think they're saying MK2, MK3, and possibly coin. So CoinKite didn't mention MK4, but somebody else that's pretty smart mentioned it. So I don't know. I mean, I got stuff on MK5, so I'm concerned myself. But if you have no other, cold wallet to transfer to, I would suggest go to, even if you have to go to an exchange for now, just until we get more information, because it's still very early. This just happened today.
Hmm.
So, don't freak out and just make a bunch of mistakes and whatnot. And yeah, so I just want to throw that out there.
Good. That's good information. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate that,
Yep.
man. All right. Got that going. All right. So, guys, just so you all know, so that's a good, like, flashing red lights for everybody. So that's great.
Yeah. Yep.
We're gonna be testing some things out on the stream tonight. I'm trying some. I'm finally getting my Streamlab stuff up, so I'm trying to get my moderators in there because it seems like every time we do this, about the 45-minute mark, this bot comes in and tries to post a link to his Twitch. So hopefully our moderator will catch that now. I've got that stuff set up. It's an auto mod from back when I used to play video games online. So should still be working. We have for now. We also have the raffle thing that's going to be for the giveaway. Where basically instead of saying type this hashtag, you're just going to have to do. I'll show it in the chat in a little bit. It'll start it at a certain time. It'll end it at a certain time. You hit an exclamation point and you type in raffle, and it enters you. It's going to be that easy. And then when the timer expires, it'll just show who the winner is on the screen. So I'm trying to make it as easy and as transparent as possible. We will be giving away. I guess it's about $30 worth of Hashpower tonight on Brains. Once we hit 50 viewers, we'll start that. So we'll get that going. But a couple things we're going to be talking about tonight. Okay. Number one, I got to catch up with Bull here because he and I haven't talked for weeks. We've all had things going on, and like my fiat job ended. So I've been like doing the job search. Then I was in mining disrupt. Bull's been out. So you might hear us kind of like trail off a little bit as we're talking about the main topics as we kind of catch up.
Yep.
So, but, okay. So, before we get into all our fun stuff, I do want to start talking a bit about Mining Disrupt. Okay, so I did have the opportunity to go, and it was fun. What's up, Hyper Hash Tech? What's up, man? Um, so I did have the chance to go. My wife and I went to Miami. It was a blast. Okay, it was a lot of fun. Now I've had a few people reach out to me and say, Cinco, was it worth it? Like, is it worth the $500 ticket? That's what they were charging basically at the door was $500. If you hadn't pre-bought your tickets, it's $500 to walk through the door. I got to tell you guys, I don't think so. I think $500 you'd be better off getting two Nano 3Ss or DCAing with that money, or taking a nice weekend with the family somewhere. and that's not, I'm not throwing hate at Mining Disrupt, but the convention floor wasn't super huge. I don't think it was $500 worth of value if you're coming there for Bitcoin. Okay. I don't think it was. I'm sure a year or two ago when we were in a better market situation and there was more people that were interested and all that was going on, I'm sure it was. Okay. This was kind of a small floor. It was at the convention center, which is the old, I think the old Radisson at Miami International Airport, which is attached to this janky ass mall. Okay. It's like this, like an auction. I don't know how else to put it. Like, I'm from New Jersey, Bull. You'll probably know what I'm talking about. You know how we got those places that are like, oh man, it's like they're like clapboard, stalls that like people rent and then they just sell whatever. Like you've got a Middle Eastern clothing store next to a taco joint next to a guy who sells baseball cards. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
forgot. Almost like a flea
Like
market,
a
right?
flea
You're talking.
market. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like in Jersey, we called them the auction. That was, it's the auction, right? So that's what it was, but it was like 3 levels tall. It was like an old mall. And if anyone has seen that horror movie that came out recently, Backrooms, where like the guy kind of walks through a wall and he's in this weird dimension, that's what it reminded me of. Like we got there on Sunday night. So the convention started Tuesday. We got there on Sunday afternoon, and we were walking around and like there's nobody there, everything's closed on Sunday, so we're like looking around this place and we're like, this is where people get murdered and the bodies are never found. Like that was the kind of feel we got for it. And then like Monday, there was some walls like pulled away so other hallways were opened up, and there's all these businesses. So we were walking around again, it's Monday, it's the day before the convention, there's nothing to do yet, so we were just looking around in there because we're like, let's see if we get murdered. And we just walked around and we were just kind of checking out what was in there. And there, it was just weird stuff. A lot of it was like wholesale stuff, like bead companies, they sell beads for like jewelry and weird
Interesting.
stuff like that. But you had to walk through that to get from the Doubletree Hotel to get to the convention center. Like you didn't have a choice unless you wanted to walk around the outside of it and just sweat your ass off. So it was a little strange. And if anyone's in chat and they were at Disrupt and you saw this, please like back me up with this. Like say it in chat, like he's not lying, because it was weird. Like when you guys see, I'm going to be doing a video on YouTube this week of like just kind of a montage from there, but it was kind of strange. Um, that did have a good little cafe in the middle of it though. It had like, they had good coffee in the morning and they had good Cuban sandwiches. So there was that. So you walked through this thing, then you went outside again. You walked past the Honduran embassy. So you walked past that. It's just like an office. That was the Honduran embassy. And then you got to walk back inside again to get to the convention center. And the MAC, it's called Miami Airport Convention Center, the MAC, MACC. And okay, day one, this is weird too. Boy, you're gonna think this is crazy, man. If anybody has ever been to like a any type of like an industry convention, whatever, if like if you're a salesperson and you've been to like something like that, or you're in like oil and gas or whatever, any type, the stereotypical industry convention that you go to, right? Where you have like a room that has a main stage where they hold keynotes and panels, has seats in there. Then usually you have like breakout rooms where they do like smaller talks in like small group stuff. And then you have the exhibit floor, right? This had your main room. You had to walk in through it. Um, so you had to walk into it. And then what they did was, and this is weird, okay? So that morning, the first morning, the doors opened at 8 a.m. Okay. So I was helping out the Altair guys. They were letting me camp out at their booth, so I had some place to put my bag and stuff. So I was helping because like Chris from Altair had to like go speak on a panel and stuff. So I was going to watch the table for him, watch the booth, so they didn't have to like shut it down while he was doing that. So I helped them. We set up the night before. Most people did. Most of the exhibitors did. And then, we had said like, we're, all these people, like you had Altair Tech there, you had Solo Satoshi there, you had Bitmain there, you had a lot of folks there with expensive equipment sitting out. And we were basically like, how are you guys securing this? Like, what are you doing to make sure, like, is there security overnight? And they're like, no, we're just going to kind of lock the door, but just put a towel or something over your stuff. And we're like, oh, because a towel prevents theft, right? Yeah, towel prevents theft. Sure. But so that was kind of weird. But the next morning we had other things that like we had it like we wanted to be able to like put our bags down and you do last minute things, right? Like there's always last minute things right before the doors open for the public. And they had said like, look, 8 a.m. the doors open to the public, but they're not opening the exhibit hall until 11 a.m. And we're like, okay, like they just people coming at 8 have to sit there and watch the first three panels, the first 3 hour long panels, whether they want to or not. So we get in and I get there and I walk over to the doors and I try to get into the exhibit side and they're locked. So I walk over to the security guard. I'm like, hey, I'm at one of the exhibitors booths. Like I like held up my my badge. Oops, sorry, you guys can't really see that. I like held up my badge. I'm like, hey guys, I'm one of the exhibitors. I need to go put some stuff down. And we have a box being delivered to UPS with like swag and stuff that like I need to be able to put down. Can we get in? And the security guard just looked at me and said, I have no clue. I don't have keys to these doors. So, all right. So like walked away, started asking some people from Disrupt and we were like, how do we get in there? And they're like, you can't. And we're like, why? I'm like, no, we're not letting anyone in until 11. And we're like, but that's when the exhibit floor opens. They're like, yeah, you'll have about 30 seconds before people start walking through. So you can get your stuff set up. I'm like, oh, 30 seconds. Thank you so much. That's so much time. And then like I started thinking like maybe I'm just asking the wrong person, right? So then like I told like the folks at Solo, like Matt and Hunter and Kells, I was like, are they letting you guys in? And they're like, no, they're not letting us in. So you could see like the room, like all the exhibitors that were like stuck there. There's people like with their bags and holding boxes, and you can see faces getting pissed as they're realizing like we're not allowed to go put our stuff down. It was nuts, man. It was nuts. So that started that, right? So
That's horrible organization. Like how do you run something like that?
we have a theory. Those of us standing around in the back of the room while this. Okay, so first of all, let me go back a little bit. The first panel was like something about pivoting to AI. All right. I honestly wasn't looking because I was busy on like trying to like figure out how we were going to do this because my fat butt was like sweaty from walking outside with these boxes and stuff. And I was like, when do we get to put this stuff down? I have nowhere to put it. That's not going to cause someone to trip or something like that. Like I'm not going to do that. So I was standing there and I'm looking around and one of the other exhibitors, I forget who it was. It was, from one of the other booths. They said, you know why they're doing this? So the numbers are low. They need to be able to take some really good photos showing that this room is full of people from the get-go for the talk. This is the PR photo. No one's going to know that it's basically all the exhibitors that are in this room. And I was like, I can't deny that's a possibility.
Definitely a possibility.
Because numbers were low. Okay. Numbers were low. And one of the first announcements they made that morning was they are going to be doing Mining Disrupts Dallas, but it's going to be a split convention. It is not just a mining convention. They're going to call it Intel Disrupt. It's going to be half mining, half AI. So it is
Half of the vendors that went to this one probably won't even go to that one.
And that's kind of what I'm thinking, brother. I think a lot of people are going to say, eh. Now they had a little thing up there. They had this QR code they put on the screen the second day. And it was like, look, buy your ticket for $99 now. And so I did. Okay. Cause I was like, look, I'm in Texas. I'll likely drive out. If I end up not going, I'll give it away to somebody. I'll just give it away to somebody. That's not a big deal. To me, it was just an investment. If I use it, great. If not, somebody on the stream is going to get it. Mike says, what is the thinking behind buying something like an Avalon Q while unemployed? That's a hefty purchase, good sir. I don't know if I would recommend it, but that depends on your situation, right? I guess like in my situation right now, and I'm kind of getting off topic for a second here to answer that question, but like, an AI mining conference sounds lame. It really does, Mike. It kind of does. And you saw it on the faces of the people there, bro. And again, let me say this. I am not sitting here trying to crap all over Mining Disrupt. That's not what I'm doing. But you all know I'm going to tell you what I think, right? So there's that. I'm not just going to pump it up and be like, it was so wonderful. No, not going to do that. We got some more stuff we're going to talk about that happened while we were there too. But like the Q I just purchased, Mike, I'm not trying to like pat myself in the back, toot my own horn. I got a severance check. I just paid off my house with my part of my 401k. I have some FU money, so I was able to get a Q, and I thought I should because I talk about it so much, and I have played with them like at the convention. Bobby has two of them, and I recommend them, and it's like, well, how can I legitimately recommend this if there's not one sitting in the room with me? So I got one. All right. And it's 90 terahash when it's fully pumping. So I was like, it's worth it. And that means I can get rid of a bunch of these crappy little small boys that I got that are loud as hell. And I can now it's just one unit. And again, not knocking small boys, the small bit axes, hammers, all that stuff. They're great. I just don't really have the room for that. I can put this Q in one of my spare rooms. So you might hear my dog squeaking stuff in the background.
That's what I do in my extension here. I use the Q for heat.
Exactly. If that starts driving you guys nuts, let me know and I'll tell Dougie to take his time. Dougie, take that out there.
Can't hear it.
Okay, good. My filter's getting it. Mike says, paid off the house. Nice, dude. Congrats. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was a very big deal for me. I've been living in this house for 20 years and now it is mine. I guess I should say it's mine and the government's, right? Because you can never pay off the government for your taxes. But yeah, so unless Texas finally does the right thing. Dougie, geez, he stood right behind me and squeaked it. Unless Texas does the right thing and goes the way of Florida and gets rid of property taxes, that would be nice. But yeah, the Q is a powerhouse, Mike. Totally agree with you. And so on that notion, one of the cool things on the expo floor was they called it like the ASIC arena. So like they basically had this big table and they put out a bunch of like the different retailers put out their, types of units. Like Altair had a Mini 3 and a Q and a hammer. And I think a Nano 3S. I think Solo Satoshi had some of the Bitax line out there. There was things like that. There was I think there was a What's Miner there. Somebody else there was some cool stuff. So people walking around could see it. The problem is, there wasn't a lot of non-industry people there. There were a few. There were definitely a few people that I ran into, but I had planned on doing like man on the street interviews with other Bitcoiners that were just there for the convention. I had a hard time finding them. It was, I think,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think most of the people there were more industry than anything. Okay. So going back to day one that morning. So at like 10:30, so a half hour before the doors are due to open, I get a text from Chris at Altair and he's like, hey, I just got in the back. He's like, you can go through the doors over on this side. The security guard's letting us in. The lady in charge of mining disrupt I guess she realized like, I can't hold these people back. They need to get their tables set up. Right. So she allowed that to happen. And I just kind of walked over there. I showed my badge and I was like, hey, do I need to grab Chris? And he was like, no, you're good to go. We know you're going to the Altair table. So I went in, gave a holler to the solo people as well. Like, hey, yo guys, you can go in over there. So people started like leaving the AI talk. Cause that's really what it was, leaving the AI talk and going to their booths to get things set up for what we expected was, this horde of people coming in. So we started doing that, got things set up and, then, the doors opened and people started trickling in and the whole first day, excuse me, pardon me. The whole first day was, I got to meet a lot of YouTubers. I'll tell you that. Ran into Hobbyist Miner. I ran into, your friend Andy. I ran into Serpent X, Vega, super nice guy. Ran into Greater Good Mining, really nice guy. Vector, I think his name is Ariel. Avril. I think it's Ariel. I don't know his anyway. It's Vector. I ran into him. He does like really cool like technical reviews on stuff. Ran into like a bunch of different YouTubers. That was pretty cool because like I watch these guys, so it was neat to kind of shake their hand and say like, hey, nice to meet you. But I think like the exhibitor and content creator ratio to convention goer was way out of skew. It was really, really skewed. That being said, I got to spend some time with some different people in the industry, which gave me a lot of insight into things that is going to help on midweek mining talks that we have. We're going to have some people coming on here industry people that are going to be great. I talked with the guys at Hammer Miner. Those are the closed source version of like the, you know, like the small boys. Okay. Um, those guys, I talked with Gary. He's one of their engineers there. Spent some time with him. Nice guy. Um, I spent a lot of time with the folks from Canaan. I spent time with the folks from, I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Sorry about that. I spent some time with so the folks from Canaan, went out to dinner with them. That was awesome. We went down to Calle Ocho. It's in Little Havana in Miami, and they were like, they were all from China, and they were like, you know, let's go somewhere, you know, we can eat that's you know, like legit Miami. And my wife being a travel agent, she recommended this place called Olds, OLD apostrophe S, and it's a Cuban restaurant. And my goodness, was it good? The service was awesome. They had a live band there. The food was amazing. The drinks were great. We had a great time. There's a beer, a Cuban beer called Hatui, Hatuey, and you know, we can't get the actual stuff from Cuba, right, because of the embargo, but they have a local family that has their own little brewery in Little Havana that has the original recipe, and they brew like the American version of Hatui, and that was pretty good beer. Um, but generally, it was just kind of a really cool experience, like watching people eat
Any,
a. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
no, no, just any word on any new home devices or anything new coming out with Canon?
The no, and we're gonna get to that too, because like Bitmain, dude, Bitmain. I mean, they basically could have put beds out over there and had their people take a nap. Bitmain had the largest, I think it was the largest booth or the second largest booth. But they had a large floor space, and they put one miner out. They put one S23 Hydro out, I think is what it was, and they just kind of sat it on a counter, and that was it. Like there was no like presentations going on. There
Was
was nothing
Bitdeer there?
I did not see Bitdeer there.
Hmm.
Did not see Bitdeer there. Canaan didn't have a booth. Canaan was kind of um, piggybacking on the Altair table. So was Hammer and Gecko too. Oh. So speaking of that, yeah, and like Mike said, the Gamma Hex is coming out. That was shown there. I think they had that at the solo booth. I got some photos of that and some video, but I didn't like get in depth. I was gonna do a sit down talk with like Hunter, Matt, and Kells, but time got away from me. And then like I had to be on a panel. Matt was on a panel. It got away from us. So what I did was I just made an agreement with them. I was like, guys, when you guys are all set up in Conroe and you got your place all together, please let me know. I'm going to come up. I'll sit down with you. We're going to do a Texas edition of the freaking show, and we'll go through everything. So we did that. That was cool. Like we're going to get that set up. So Kanan, they didn't show anything new coming out yet, but I know they made, I don't want to say announcements, but I think that they've shown like they're starting to get ready to move to a new thing. Like they didn't come up on stage and do anything like that, but I think that it wasn't even like an announcement of an announcement like a Dennis Porter. It was just kind of like through the grapevine. It was like, hey, you know, there's some things that might get discontinued and other things that won't. And then they're going to come out with some new stuff. We just don't know what it is. The Hex, like Mike said, Mike, you're two sats, right? I'm pretty sure you're two sats. I think that's who that is. I think he does the podcasting. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. He does the podcasting for the folks at Solo. So he's got good info on that.
The home mining.
Yeah, home mining pod. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else? We had the folks from Gecko Science there. So Side Hack. Hercules, the big guy that I had on the Bitcoin mining show when we did Gecko, him and Iris. So Sidehack drove down 4 hours. He left in like the middle of the night to make sure he got there first thing in the morning, which it turned out he didn't have to because we couldn't open the stinking doors. But the poor guy drove in the dead of the night to get down there to present a K box to put on the table so we could run it. Right? I say we. I wasn't running. It was Altair. I was just there. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Hey buddy. Hey, two sets. So we had the K box there that was finally got to be displayed, which was really cool. Okay. It's a cool unit. I'm not going to go too much into that, guys, because like, Greater Good Mining has a video on it. Hobbyist Miner did a video on it. There's a couple guys that have like sat down and did a video. The couple things I will say about the K box, I think it's like $749. It's 20 some terahash. Uh, it is I'll call it a bespoke miner. Okay. What I mean by that is they're handmade. They're not pressed out in a factory. Sidehack and his team there's only 4 of them. They put everything together. Okay. There's 155 screws that have to be hand screwed into every K box. Okay. So when this thing is built, it is built by a person for you. Okay. So it's a cool unit. It's got some cool RGBs in it, and it's got the Easter egg, which is when you're in the UI, when you have it pulled up on your computer, when you're in the UI setting screen, if you click the Gecko Sciences logo 5 times, your screen does like this little blah, 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 blah thing, and it pulls up Doom, the original game, Doom, like from 1990. And it's the whole game. You can play the full game, cheat codes and everything. You can play Doom right there. Not only can you play it on your monitor, but on the little screen that's on the K box, it does it right there too. It shows what's going on. And as you shoot, whenever you shoot, the LEDs on your miner flash. We had some people there that were like, why would you bother putting that into a miner? And my answer to that was kind of like, if you can and it doesn't hurt mining, why not? That's the way I look at it. I was like, it was kind of cool, right?
It's a little, like you said, Easter egg.
It's an
I
Easter
mean,
egg. Doesn't
yeah.
take anything away from it. So it was kind of cool. But those units, like, they can only make a certain number a month. I forget what it is, 50 a month or something like that. So like, if you want a K box, find the retailers that are selling them and get one as soon as you can. Okay. Because there's only, I just realized with the way this is on my head, it looks like I have like dog ear hat on because of that. But anyway, yeah, so kind of cool. It was kind of cool to see that. Tusat says Schnitzel showed us his version of the Dumax on podcast. Super cool. Yeah. So there's some cool stuff, man. There's some really cool stuff going on. There were some miners that were presented, but the problem was there wasn't a whole hell of a lot of people there to kind of put this out to, right? And again, it sounds like I'm just shitting all over the conference, and I don't want it to sound like that. It was fun. I'm glad I got to meet people. I got to meet Chris at Altair. I got to meet the folks at Farm God. I got to meet more of the folks at Brains, a bunch of folks that I didn't get to meet because they weren't at the 6 megawatt Brains facility in Sugar Land, Texas that went live a few months ago when I went down for that. I got to see Eli again from Brains, one of the big wigs there. I got to meet Sarah from Brains. She's super cool. Who else? Christian wasn't there. I think Summer was there briefly. I could swear I saw Summer. But here's the thing, guys. EIF happened right at the same time. So EIF is a brand new conference. It was in Dallas. It's basically like the industry, like, power conference. They had a lot of people talking about like HPC, compute, AI, Bitcoin mining, flare gas, all the stuff we talk about when it comes to like the next level above home mining, right? So that conference pretty much happened, like that started, I think, the day after, like the day after Mining Disrupt. So day 2 of Mining Disrupt, there were exhibitors leaving because they're like, we got to get to Dallas. We have to open a booth there and we need to get there and set up. So there, it looks like EIF was kind of a bigger deal, to be honest with you. So,
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know what path this is gonna go. I know from speaking with the guy that's running the Midwest Bitcoin Summit, he's very interested in mining
mm-hmm,
and he's trying to implement something with certain people in the area. I don't know, I forget exactly who it was, but some of the, you know, hire people up in Ohio to implement heat reuse and stuff, and he wants to incorporate that into future summits.
mm-hmm,
So who knows, maybe Bitcoin mining will be incorporated into this event moving forward or something like that. If they're not doing that well and they're combining with AI, and it wasn't a big turnout and a lot of people were disappointed
mm-hmm.
this time, I can't see the same amount of people going to want to go back next year.
Yeah, totally agree with you, man. I can see that. And again, I have to keep saying it because I don't want people out there thinking like, oh, he's just shitting all over Mining Disrupt. That's not what it is. I'm just telling you, from my eyes as a person, this is my first time at this conference. And I
The
kind of,
facts are the facts. You're just
yeah,
laying out what you've seen. That's it. You're not,
yeah.
not here to make them look bad. Telling people the truth, what you would want to hear, right?
Yep. I have a couple other complaints that I have to hit you with too, Bull. So I gotta tell you about this. Uh, a good thing. So like Nico and the Simply Bitcoin guys were there and they tried to video everything they could and live stream it. Fantastic. I was so glad they did that because it meant that I didn't have to go around the whole time doing it. Basically, I was like, yo, go to Simply Bitcoin stream because they're filming everything. They were right in the front. They had like an AV set up right there. It was great. So that was fantastic. I was on a panel on day one. So the booth opened at 11, or yeah, like the exhibit opened at 11. At noon, I had my panel. It was called Fork Around and Find Out. That was the title of it. So I was like, is this about nodes? But then the description said it was a discussion about open source, closed source, and decentralizing. So leading up to this, for the week leading up to the conference, that's what I was preparing to talk about from a miner standpoint. Now, I would like to give you guys what basically I was going to talk about in a very short window. My plan was to basically say, as a miner, I will do open source, I will do closed source, I will do what I like and what works best for me, right? I don't have the right to tell somebody whether they should go one way or another. I've got open source miners on my shelves. I've got closed source miners on my shelves. If they work, I'm happy. So basically, I was going to be the guy saying the nothing burger up there. So I was like, I don't even know why they have me on this, but it is what it is. So, and like everyone that was on that panel, nobody there was like Scott from 250 from Bitaxe wasn't there, right? So like that would have been a person you want on that panel, right? But like there was nobody that was on that panel that was selected to be on it that really, in my opinion, should be speaking about open source versus closed source because none of us are involved in that. So it was kind of silly. So 5 minutes before we're due to go on stage, I'm standing in the little back room thing where the curtains are. It's me, Mike Hamilton, this guy Jerry, who's like a venture capitalist. He runs Paystand, a company called Paystand. This guy named Asshole from Dubai. I'm not kidding. Not kidding. I'm not making fun of the guy. His name was Asshole. ASHOL. And me. Yeah, that was it. And then Dell, the moderator. So 5 minutes before we're due to go on, we're standing back there. We're greeting each other. Hey, I'm on the panel with you. Nice to meet you. And Dell comes over and he goes, hey, so I was thinking, so for the questions for this, I was thinking we could just go ahead and talk about BIP 110. Bro, when I tell you all four of us did the movie turn to look at Dell and give him the WTF eyeball, like seriously. So everyone just stood there quiet and I'm the one who said, do you really want to do this to us 5 minutes before we go up there? Do you really want to open that door? And he was like, I don't know really what else to talk about. I was like, I thought it was going to be open source. And everybody, we're all kind of just looking at each other like, all right. So basically what it came down to is we all looked at each other. I think we all realized at this point, we're like, we just need to get through this effing hour that this is going to be. And we just nodded. We're like, all right, whatever, man. So he was like, look, we'll bookend it. He's like, we'll start off addressing that BIP 110 as a thing. Then in the middle, we'll talk about open source versus closed source. And then at the end, we'll close off with some more BIP 110 final comments. And we're like, okay, great, whatever. So now I'm thinking like, okay, what am I going to talk about here? How are we going to address this? So I'm not afraid to talk about it. I just wanted to know ahead of time. You know what I mean? You guys know me. I'll run my mouth about anything. I just need to know what I'm going to talk about so I don't sound stupider than I always do. So there I am. 10 more viewers. We get 10 more viewers. We're going to start the giveaway, guys. Share our stuff out. So we get up there. We sit down. They got little couches for us, got 3 microphones for 5 people. So we had to do a little sharing thing. Like Jerry and Mike were sharing, and then me and Asshole were sharing. And yeah, it was just like, that's what we did. So get this. We get up there and I look. here's me, right? Home miner guy, small mining farm, less than 10 petahash guy, who has a crappy little YouTube channel. I do not consider, you guys know, I don't consider myself a YouTuber, a content creator, an influencer, none of that. I'm just a guy in my 40s who likes to run his mouth and talk with his friends on camera. That's it. That's what I do. I got my little, where is it? It's over here. I got this stupid little ad on here right now, guys, because I figure if I can have something that generates some revenue, then I can turn that into Hashpower giveaways for y'all. That's why that thing's on there this week. That's it. But anyway, I'm not getting rich off this stuff. I don't make money on it. So we get up there, we sit down. Dell asks us to introduce ourselves. We kind of go through it real quick. We introduce ourselves, and I realize I'm sitting on the stage with a guy who works for a Middle Eastern venture capitalist firm who knows nothing about open source, closed source, or BIP 110. He just said it. I have no clue what any of this is. I'm just happy to be here. He's a very nice guy. He's a young guy. He's a very nice guy. He had no clue what was going on. Jerry, the guy from Paystand, nice guy, but he was Wall Street. That's like, he was Wall Street. He was there talking. We're going to get into that in a second. He didn't talk really about anything but what his company does to sell their product. And then Mike down the end, who was like a Bitcoiner, and he was like definitely like trying to answer the questions, which was great, like because he gave good answers as well. So I was kind of trying to like feed off of him. You know what I mean? Like you have to have a conversation with somebody. You have to communicate. Co means more than one, right? Two people got to be talking. So I was trying to like follow up with what he said, and he was trying to follow. We're just trying to make it work. The first question he comes out with is, so what do you guys think about BIP 110? I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, all right, here we go. And he hands the mic to me. He's like, Joe, you're the YouTuber. You should be the one to talk about this. I was like, you kidding me, dude? You have more people on your YouTube than I have on mine. But so that I was kind of just like, look, there's hard feelings on both sides of this. That you have people on the ends of it, the extremes that are very, very vocal. Then as you get toward the middle, like anything else that can be political, you got people who basically are somewhere in the middle and they're just trying to make it through the day. We ended up talking about that for about 8 minutes. And then the whole conversation turned into the Paystand guy talking about a village in Machu Picchu that has a circular Bitcoin economy in the Amazon. And it had nothing the fuck to do with Bitcoin mining. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but that was 24 minutes of the hour-long conversation. Great. Hey, cool company. They do great things. Not knocking that. But it had nothing to do with Bitcoin mining or the panel. And the moderator just kept asking follow-up questions about it. I think he was just happy to fill time.
That's what it sounds like.
Bro, it was weird. So finally, I get the mic back and I start saying, it's very interesting that these people in these small villages are doing that. And I think it would be great that, they also are involved in mining because we've got open source miners that are very inexpensive that anyone can build and or buy and use. And that's great for their circular economy because then they're also helping to decentralize the network. So I tried to turn it back around into open source, closed source, right? To at least get it on the footing. Mr. Hamilton fed right on that, started doing the same thing. We had a good 6 or 7 minutes of doing that. And then it kind of went right back to venture capitalism. It was weird. Then at the end of that conversation, it came to final thoughts. And I was like, since we're talking about it and everybody was kind of hedging on the whole BIP 110 thing, nobody wanted to take an official position. I came right out and said, okay, look, I'm probably going to lose half of my followers on X for this. I said, but my node I run knots. I've been running knots for a long time now. And I am signaling for BIP 110. I am. So I actually came out and said it on stage at Mining Disrupt. No problem. I'm not ashamed of it. And then I was like, and here's what I would like to say about that. If BIP 110 signals and we get the 1 year period that it's tested and it finds out that that's best for Bitcoin, then we've all learned something and Bitcoin is stronger and it moves forward. If it turns out it does not happen and it does not signal and it fails, then we've all learned something. Bitcoin is stronger because we had the conversation and we move forward. So that's the way I framed it, because I have respect for people on both sides of this, okay? I'm not a hardliner with that stuff. And I know there's people out there that are going to be like, well, you need to take a stand one way or other, or you're a shithead. Call me what you want. Until you're paying my electric bill and you're paying and you pay for my node, you don't have a right to say what I am running in my house. And that goes for whether you're using Core 30, Core 28, knots without BIP, knots with BIP. I don't have a say what anybody else does either. It's not my business. I can only do what I think is right for me and mine. And that's the way I framed it, right? And some people say, well, that's wishy-washy, you're waffling. Not waffling. Not waffling. I just don't think that, as a person who believes in libertarian ideals, I don't think I have a right to tell other people what they should do with their stuff. So yeah, that's to me how it is. So there it is. I'm also not going to get on X and start screaming at people and calling them, bad words because they don't agree with me, right? That's to me, that's just silly. I left that behind in my late 20s, I guess. But Bull, it was a weird time. So after that, we got down off the stage, we go back behind the curtain, and Jerry, the guy from I'm pretty sure his name was Jerry from Paystand. Again, super nice guy, super smart guy. And he says to me, like, we're all shaking hands. Hey, it was a pleasure being on the panel with you. And he goes, hey, at least you had the balls to get up there and say you're signaling for BIP 110. I was like, I got nothing to hide, If anybody asks me, I'll show it. I mean, I got my. Here, I'm gonna cover your for a second there, Bull. Node right now. There it is, guys. There's my node. Like, I'm not kidding. So anyway, oops, goes on monitor. There we go. So that was that. And then Chris had a talk as well. Oh, poor Chris from Altair. Chris, one more viewer. We can start the giveaway. We can start the drawing, guys. Chris had to do a keynote. And he had 5 minutes. They give you 5 minutes to do the keynote. He had it all written out on his cards. They call him up there. He gets up there. The timer's at 3 minutes and 50 seconds. They started the timer on him 1 minute and 10 seconds before he was even introduced. So he had to scrap his whole talk because he had it timed out and just kind of wing it.
What a disaster they are over there, huh?
Yeah. Tusat said, what do you think about this breaking news about the cold card wallet hack compromised due to low entropy key generation? As a matter of fact, dude, we were talking about that just as the show started. Bull brought it up as kind of a warning for folks, like, hey, you need to pay attention to that. Bull, do you real quick, do you mind? Can you kind of go through what you saw on that again, so people that are coming in later, they kind of know what that topic is?
Yeah, so the MK3, if you generated a seed phrase with the MK3, a bunch of wallets, I think like 500 wallets, had UTXOs taken out of it and all put into one wallet. So they're suggesting anybody that made a seed phrase with MK3 move to another cold storage, or if you have no option for another cold storage, then exchange at least till they get to know what exactly is going on with all this.
Crazy.
Yep.
Crazy stuff. Be careful, guys. Be careful with what you're using. Make sure you do your research on that and you react properly, right? Not emotionally. So make sure you're checking your stuff and you are being as secure as possible, because that's crazy.
Yeah, 562 Bitcoin was taken, which is crazy.
All right, I'm going to try this out, guys, real quick. I'm about to hit the button to open the raffle. Let's see if my bot works, okay? If it opens, great. I'm going to leave it open for like 5 minutes, so just follow directions. I'm going to give it a try here. Now, for my folks in X, I can see when you post, okay? So it might not show in the bot, but I can see it and it does register, okay? Everybody else, if you're on YouTube or you're on Twitch or you're on Kick, because we're doing Kick this week as well, it will auto-register it and it kind of shows it to you on your thing. For Twitch, I don't think it does because of how Twitch works with their live spaces, but it's still entered, okay? Let's see here. Okay, see that where it says your choice of skin from Joey's vault? Ignore that. It's not a choice of skins. It's the what's it called? The Hashpower, okay? So all you guys got to do is type like this. You got to do raffle. Just like that. Raffle. So there we go. So of course, if I win, I'm going to redo it. So don't worry about that. So go ahead, guys. I got the 5-minute timer started. Just type !raffle into chat. It will register you and we'll get this going. There we go. I see people doing it. Great job. Great job. Keep going, guys. Difficulty adjustments going down again, Bull.
Yeah, I seen that. Well, we only had 0.7 this past time, right? And it's at almost 3 now, 2.6. But
2.6
it
is
was
what.
as high as 5, I think, yesterday, day before, 5 or 6.
Yeah. So
I
it's kind
seen.
of fluctuating there. I mean, we still got over a week, right? We still got over a week, but
Yeah.
I think it's going to keep going down. I think it's gonna hang out probably somewhere around here, but we're gonna have another down adjustment, is what I should say. Oh, look, we got another unknown hit, buddy. Check your app. Who did it? Who did it, Bull? 28 minutes ago, somebody
Uh,
hit. Block 960326.
yeah, does it? So the unknown ones don't pop up like
Ah,
an alert, only if it's like a known solo pool.
gotcha.
So if it was like CK or what, public pool or so like a known solo pool, then it would alert me. I don't
Gotcha.
have, you could, it has an option to alert you for unknown ones, but we don't know if the unknown ones are actual solo miners, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, that one guy that hit it the other day was he had 22 Bitcoin in his wallet.
Yeah.
So yeah. Looks like we got a little lag going on. I'm sorry about that. If you guys are seeing a little bit of lag, I don't know what caused it. So apologize. We're gonna
But
keep.
yeah, how
Oh,
about those Hema miners? Are they similar to the bit axes? Like they have the same UI and you connect them and everything the same way. You have to update them and because the reason I recommend Kanan, you can hear me?
yeah.
It
No,
looks
I
like
can
you're
hear
there.
you. That's me saying like,
Uh,
kinda. Yeah,
oh no, it looks like you when you was moving, it was like getting blurry
yeah.
on my end. I never seen that before on Zoom. Um, but yeah, so a lot of times I try to recommend people to the Canon to the 3S because there's no updating. It's easy and simple for newbies just to get up and hashing.
Mm-hmm.
The bit axes sometimes become difficult and they can't connect it, they can't it's just a little more difficult for newbies. And
Right.
then updating it and so I was just curious on the if you know anything about them. I don't have a hammer, so but it is interesting that they're using the BM 1373s now, right? I think the newer
Mm-hmm.
ones are using XP chips,
Yeah. Uh huh.
so
And
they're a
but
lot more efficient.
yeah, Altair they posted a video. I think Avril posted it was yesterday or today of him literally like butchering 21s, getting the chips out of them. And I think that might be where they're going. Um but so here's my take on that. Okay. So is one better than the other? I think they're both equally good. Like one style, like the axe style and the hammer style. I'm running both. Um the BCO4 I have that's about 6.5 terahash. Super quiet. Um, it's one file to update the UI. Not remember it used to be like bin and then the www file to do your firmware update.
Yeah,
Now it's just one file. Um, it has I mean the UI is pretty good. It's different. It's the same but different. I don't know how else to say it. Like it's the same but different. It's a different style. Um, it's easy to use. To me, it's just as easy to use as the Axe OS. Um, they're equal. I mean,
pretty similar.
at this point, it's really like personal choice. Like, which one would you rather use, or both, or whatever. But I mean, it's been running fine for me. I've got to get my hands on a BC01 because I want to run that side by side with a brand new Gamma. Like, I want a Gamma out of the box, and I from Ixtech, and then I want a Hammer out of the box from Hammer. I'm going to put them side by side, plug them in at the same time, set them up at the same time, put them on the same pool, let them both run for 30 days, and just test it and see what the metrics say. So that's probably like an August or September thing. I'll do that. Okay. Guys, you still have time. You can type in !raffle. We're going to do the poll in about 2 minutes. So there is still time to do !raffle to get in on the Hashpower draw for brains, and then we'll pull that up. And that's going to run past the show. Like we'll set you up, we'll set the winner up, and then your Hashpower is going to run after we log off because we've been going for about 45 minutes now, and Bull doesn't want to listen to my ass talk all night. So, your Hashpower is going to go for hours past the show. But back to what you asked. I mean, honestly, man, it's either or. Wherever you get to me, it would be where you get the best deal. All right.
Yeah, for me, I'm just want to. I try to push the home miners to newbies just to get them interested. And I find even people that are already in Bitcoin and interested in Bitcoin, they had trouble with forgot which BitX it was. It was a
like the
shoot, I can't even remember.
QX
But
plus Rev something. Was that the one you? Is that what
yeah, it
you?
was the two chip one. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
remember
All right. Yeah.
the two chip one. But and they still don't have it hashing. I don't want to say who it is, but they still don't have it hashing today. So I try to push people to the Canon because it's a little more simple. I had somebody get a Canon, and they pretty much was 90% up and running. I think it was one little tweak. I don't remember exactly what it was. They didn't even need my help. So
Mhm.
it's a lot easier to get them up and going with the Canons right now. So I just, hopefully no matter what company it is, they just make it a little more easy for newbies.
Guys, ignore that thing where it says the skin thing. It's an artifact from my old days of doing Eve Online streaming. That was part of the reason why we're beta testing this stuff tonight, is so I can get these bugs worked out. So good. Yeah, this is for the hash power. So it is for the hash power. Okay, almost ready to do the draw. Yeah, buddy. And I actually, if I have somebody who's a tinkerer, somebody who's good with electronics, they like to play with things, they like to mess around with things, I'm going to recommend like an open source miner, like a small boy, right? Like something like that for them to start out with. If it's somebody who's like, look, that's not me, I'm not super technical, I want something clean and sleek that I can put on a shelf, and I don't got to worry about my kids sticking their finger in the fan type of thing, I'm gonna send them to the Nano 3S. That's just, and again, right? This isn't like I don't get paid to say this. I don't get sponsored to say this from any company. Nobody does. Uh, it's just my feelings on it. And as a matter of fact, I have an announcement coming this Monday that I'm kind of doing. Here's my porter, an announcement of an announcement. But my information on my book that I wrote on Bitcoin mining is going to be coming. I'll be announcing that on Monday. So we're finally ready to do that. The publishing part is ready now. And that's part of the book is where it talks about like, look, it really depends on who you are and what you like to do. I like to tinker, so I like the open boards. I also like having a bunch of Nano 3Ss on the shelf, which I do because I like how they hash at 6 terahash, and I really don't have to do much with them other than clean the fan. So, and mine consistently hit decent difficulty rates. So, I mean, there's that, right? Okay, let's do the draw real quick, Bull. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna end this. And now give me 1 second. I gotta find out how we picked the winner. Give me 1 second, guys. Do 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 do. I am clicking the winner. Bear with me. See that's just a tester. Ignore that, guys. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm getting used to doing this. It's been years since I've used it. 4 years, actually. 4 years and 5 months since I last used this. All right. Well, you can't see it. It's on my admin screen over here, but it picked the winner. And the winner, hold on, I'm cutting it, pasting it, is our good friend Two Sats. So, Mike, you won. Putting it in there. Mike, you won. Two Sats, do me a favor, brother. Shoot me a DM on X if you don't mind. Give me your receive wallet address and who you would like to have where you would like it pointed. Remember, it has to be at a solo pool. I'm pulling this over here. It has to be at a solo pool. So let me know what solo pool you'd like to do it. And congratulations, I'm going to do that. You're going to get like 39,000 sats worth um, of hash power. So we'll go ahead and hit that. We'll max that out. Boop. Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. That's why we do this. And just so y'all know, I did speak with the folks at Brains about this. Brains has offered to sponsor the giveaways. We've just been like missing connection with each other. So at some point, Brains is going to sponsor some of our hash rate giveaways. But as this is right now, this one came from Bobby and from Bull. Okay, so y'all like please be aware of that. Like we pay for this, the hosts pay for this. We're not sponsored to it. That's why I got that silly little use code Cinco Doggos 10% off thing for that right there. Okay, that's because I'm trying to find a way to generate some cash so it makes it a little easier and we can do some bigger hashtag Hashpower giveaways. Let me see here. Two sats. Let me know once you DM me on X so I can go ahead and get your wallet address and let me know where you want it. So we'll see here. It's probably going to be, let's see. You probably go higher. We'll do 8 petahash for 2.3 hours. How's that sound? Y'all like that? So, all right. And again, thanks, Bull and Bobby, for sponsoring it this week.
No problem.
We'll just wait till that comes up. There you go. He's giving you a nice call out. Bull, Two Sat said, he said, I like Bull. He came to our Twitter mining spaces and contributed so much so often. Yeah, Bull's a great guy. Bull, that's why we have him on here, because Bull he's a straight up, he's a mensch. You're a mensch.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of killing time. I'm just waiting for Two Sats to send me the information. We'll get that going there. Let me go ahead and put this so Bull can see it because he really can't. Let me share the screen.
Yeah, just FYI, anybody listening, I can't see any chats or anything. I'm just on the Zoom.
Poor Bull, because of the way I have things set up, he can't see things. So,
fine,
oh, here we go. Okay, I got it up, and he's Two Sats to send me his stuff right now. Okay, so while he's doing that, kind of spent a lot of time complaining about Mining Disrupt. But at the same time, like I said, I got to spend time with a lot of people and it was fun. Let me see here. Let me respond to him real quick. I'm also going to pull up. Oh, let me get my Telegram up too, because that's how this thing does its stuff. Okay. Boop. Okay. Bo, you're still looking at the Brains Hashpower screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Just wanted to double check. Okay. All right. So, spent a lot of time. I'm sorry, Bo.
If you didn't tell him, he's got to pick which which pool.
He's DMing me right now, so he's getting all that together for me. Like I said, while it was kind of a little bit disappointing, it was a bear market, and that showed at Mining Disrupt. But at the same time, I did meet a lot of good people. Like I said, I got to hang out with the Canaan folks. I got to hang out with the Brains folks. I got to hang out with I made some cool connections. The guys at Satoki, if you've never heard of Satoki, look him up. Crypto Mikkel, he was a YouTuber for a long time. Look him up as well. Got to hang out with them. Got to hang out with some guys that have their own mining farms. Bull, you would have gotten a kick out of these guys. I mean, these are people who have like megawatts farms, and it's like a dude in rural, not going to say the state, and like he has a company that came out and they manage his farm for him, and he has like 20 megawatts on his property, and it's all his own miners.
Nice.
Right? So, okay, got that. And
that would be me if I was able to do it here in New York.
Dude, I was sitting there. I was basically like, teach me, sensei. Let me see here. Oops. Let me go over here. Put that in there. Oops. We do not need that portion. Dot mid mining. Whatever pool you think is best, it's solo only. He said whatever pool's best. Bull, where would you rather put it? You want to put it on Brains or would you want to put it on Atlas?
It doesn't matter. Just do you pick.
All right, we're gonna do Brains solo. Okay, so guys, as you see on this screen, just so I explain it, okay? This is super easy. What we do is, first of all, make sure you have a Telegram account before you do this. You got to be on Telegram because it has a bot that confirms this is what you want to do. We added the sats earlier in the day. There's an address in your menu. your admin menu for when you're in hashpower.brains.com, and you put the sat. It tells you where to send the sats. It takes at least 2 blocks to clear, so it has confirmations, so it knows that it's legit. And then once they clear, you can go over here into the Hashpower thing, create a bid, and then I'm going to refresh that. I'm going to hit it again like that because sometimes it kind of stales out. We're going to create the bid. Let me make sure there's no gap in here because the last thing I want is something bad to happen. Let me double check this. 4Q. Yes. Okay. Create bid. Now it's going to shoot me a message over here. Brains Hashpower bot. I click to confirm. It says I'm confirmed. You all just saw that pop up. Boom. Created successfully. Now what happens is we've got that. And there we go. I was waiting for that to pop up. So ETA is NA. That means it probably went through immediately. Okay. So what we do now is we can go over to here. We're going to put in the receive address. And I see I clicked it. It said not found. That's because it's going to take a little bit. It's got to wait for it to catch up, and then we'll be able to track his hash rate in a minute. So we'll wait and we'll just give this a second. But Mike, basically, brother, what you're doing is you're getting like 8 petahash for the next 2.25 hours ish. So best of luck. Remember the rule. If we do your Hashpower giveaway like this and you hit, you owe me, Bull, and Bobby a steak dinner. That's the rule if you hit. Okay. Let me see here. So just got to give it a few minutes. It'll do its thing here. Oops. Boink. Let me go back there. Just screwed that up. Control V. But guys, it's literally that easy to rent this Hashpower. And people have hit. Okay. So people have hit. It's not like, there's people that are like, oh, I think it's a scam. They're just using their own stuff and saying you got it. No, people have hit blocks. So unless they're being really, really slick with it, which guys, the people at Brains, they're Bitcoin maxis. They're in it to win it for the whole community. I don't really see them doing that shit to us. So I'm confident. I've spent a few $1,000s now on hash rate rental with them. So Hyperhash said, Bull can do it in New York, just has to be upstate New York and find, he's talking about megawatt farms. Bull, you can do it in New York, just has to be in upstate New York and find one of the small municipal utilities that isn't National Grid or NYSEG that are extremely cheap. My private New York 1 megawatt farm is roughly, I think he said he's at 5 cents, and then my thing cut him off from too long of a message.
Yeah, tell him message me because I have both of those companies. Those I have NiceEgg, which is the one he mentioned. I think National Grid is the other one, and I actually use both of them from my rental properties.
Okay.
So the NiceEgg alone is still like 20 something cents a kilowatt.
Oof. Yeah. Hey, Hyperhash, reach out to Bull, shoot him a DM so y'all can talk about that. He's interested in talking. If you didn't hear him, please do that. But yeah, man, there was a couple guys there that like one guy I ran into, dude about, I don't know, my age, maybe a little older, big beard, just started talking to him. It's a very reserved guy. I didn't even get his name. Like again, Bitcoiners sometimes are very private. So I respect that. And, shook his hand. We're talking. He was asking what I do. I said, I mine. He said, how much do you have? I said, I have, currently I have under 5 petahash. He said, and he kind of said, oh, that's good. And I was like, it's cool. I said, you mine? He said, yeah. I said, do you mind me asking how much you have? And he said, I have a lot more than that. And he wasn't bragging. The way he said it was very like, I have a lot more than that. I was like, well, that's really cool, man. I'm glad. He's like, I've been in it for a long time. So, he made his money early. He was smart and he reinvested it into more mining stuff. And I thought that was super cool. So, I mean, he's living those, those squad goals type of thing. Let's see if it's popping up yet. Did it start kicking in yet? Yeah, it's saying it's all right. We've got the progress bar going. So it might've just hit. We got the green dot. So we'll keep an eye out here. It'll hit in a minute. We'll wait for it to pop up. It takes there we go. Yay. Okay. So there we go. You are officially hashing, Mike. You are officially hashing. I don't even know if your name's really Mike or that's your joke name, bro. But 2 sats, you're officially hashing. So it ramps up. It'll ramp up. So it doesn't go straight to 8. So you'll see that. But if you go over to the hashpower.brains.com/solo and put your receive address in, 2 sats, you can track it on your screen as well after the show goes off here in a few minutes. But yeah, Bull, I met some really cool people there. If somebody asked me, hey, would you do it over again? If you can go back in time and spend the money to fly out there and do all that, yeah, I absolutely would. Believe it or not, I know that sounds crazy after what I've been saying, but I absolutely would go to Disrupt. I would do it again if I could reset the clock and go back a couple weeks. I'd still do it. I met some really cool people. I think I may have gotten a lead on a job or two, or at least an interview or two in the Bitcoin mining industry. That was really the reason I was going there. After I found out I was getting laid off from my fiat job, I kind of turned this into like a job fair. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, y'all. Please cross your fingers for me, because if I can get involved more in Bitcoin, I definitely want to. My heart is in this, and I really want to do it. Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, Tusat says thank you so much for the giveaway, guys. Hey, man, it's our pleasure. We love doing this. Glad you got it, and I hope you hit it. We'll see what's going on here. It'll keep cycling up here every couple minutes. We'll see.
It'll be cool if somebody finally hits it, you know?
That would be so cool. I'd be so happy for that. Like that would make my day. What am I gonna say? Yeah, we're kind of winding it down now. The whole thing where I had said, hey, we're going to be talking BIP 110 today. The whole thing I wanted to talk about, we already did, just so y'all know. That was about basically, I think I was the only person who stood up on stage at Mining Disrupt and said, I'm actually signaling for BIP 110. We'll see what happens here. It's about to go down. We're getting toward the deadline. If it doesn't, okay, I switch my node back over and I'll just run regular Bitcoin knots. I don't know what to tell you, but I mean, it is what it is, right? But yeah. Oh, also speaking of giveaways, Bernard Starr, he won our first Hashpower giveaway that we did, Bull, the rental giveaway back in the day. I just ran a giveaway for a BC04 while I was at Disrupt for people who were not at Disrupt. I ran that and he won it. So, I mean, the guy's just lucky when it comes to our stuff, I guess. So I bought that for him and had it, it'll ship, I guess, tomorrow. He'll have it by Monday. So yep, another miner going in the field. That's good. And I think he said that'll be his largest miner. So I'm happy to hear that. Like that's really cool.
Nice. Congrats, Bernard.
Yeah. Trying to think what else. There was a lot of giveaways and Bull, if you got to go, just say it, brother. Like I'll stay on for a couple minutes and talk, but if I know you're a busy guy.
Good for a couple more minutes.
Okay. There was a lot of giveaways from different booths at at Mining Disrupt. I was walking around giving away 3D printed stuff. Like I had these little can lid covers. I can't really show you right now because the screen's too small. But basically you clip it onto like your soda or beer can and it puts a lid on it. And on the lid, it had an orange Bitcoin symbol. So like I printed out like 3 dozen of those. I gave them out to people. I printed out HODL signs. I was able to give a HODL sign to Mark Artemko's son. Mark Artemko, if you don't know, is the CEO of Ocean Pool. So I was able to give his son one. That was kind of cool. What else? I printed out my little doggy poop bag holder that you like clip onto like your leash for your dog, and it kind of says shitcoin holder on there, and you can get your doggy poop bags out of it. I gave those away. I had 3 orange pill statues. They were limited edition orange pill statues. I gave those away to 3 lucky people who came by the booth. One by the booth, 2 me walking around, because I said find the guy with the shark backpack and pat me on the shoulder and say, hey, I want that pill, and 2 people did, so they were watching the stream. What else? I gave away, my mind's going, dude. I gave away a Hashwatcher node, those little Hashwatcher Raspberry Pi nodes that Gabe makes for the Hashwatcher app. I gave one of those away. I actually I was afraid I wouldn't be able to find somebody to give it away to because it was getting toward like a time where I had to go up on stage and stuff. So I actually went over to the folks at Solo Satoshi and I gave it to them. I was like, can you do me a favor? I was like, if you identify somebody that's over here looking around and you think they could use this, please give it to them. And they did. They gave it away for me. So that was cool. What else? Man, there's a bunch of stuff. I gave away a bunch of Via BTC stuff because tomorrow is my last day as a contractor with Via BTC, guys. So that's that. That's the end of that era. I spent a year with them. My contract is up tomorrow. I do my last report with them tonight at 9 p.m. So in an hour, I do my last work report with them, and then that's it. No more Via BTC for me. I'm actually switching all my miners over to PowerPool to try it out. I'm doing that to test some things. because some people have said they use it and they like it. So I'm bringing everything over there. Um, I have an M73S Hydro that I just purchased, and as soon as that arrives at the hosting facility, which will probably be in about 2 weeks, when it gets there from What's Miner, I will slap that. I forget what it is, 650 terahash. I'll slap that on PowerPool for 2 weeks as well on PowerPool. We'll see how it goes. Apparently, they pay out like up to twice daily, so some people like that. I was like, can I just set it to once a month? But I don't know. I'll have to play with it. But yeah, that's what's going on. So yeah, Bull, I pulled the trigger and I got I got a hydro miner finally. I'm stepping up into the hydro stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta get a hydro. I haven't got one yet. I still got my XPs.
Yeah.
I don't know, just haven't pulled the trigger on anything yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel you. XPs are still making money, so I mean, it makes sense to keep them. Might as well still do it. I just figured it was I had the ability to do it, and the wife was in agreement with me. We think that if we were gonna buy a brand new and put it straight into hosting, then we wanted it to be something that's gonna hopefully last a while. And we were like, well, in that case, Hydro's the way to go. So
Yeah, that's the that's what they're supposed to do, have the longevity and
mhm.
so we'll see. And you should be able to overclock it a little bit, so we'll see how that goes too.
Mhm. I'm going to do this real quick for 2sats so he has it. 2sats, I'm putting this link in here for you, buddy. This is so I don't know if you have it pulled up for your stats, but this is how you can watch after the show ends. That's how you can go ahead and watch. Anybody can go in and watch it, right? And that's your receive address. So of course, as we always talk about on here, guys, when it's a receive address, if you try to do anything with that, all you're doing is giving 2sats more Bitcoin. So like, give the guy a donation if you want to, but it doesn't hurt to show that there publicly. But you're averaging right now about 6.5 petahash per second for the 5-minute average. And then as it ticks up, I mean, it's at 8 right now, but it's just, it refreshes every 5 minutes. So yeah, man, you got that for the next couple hours. Bull, before we cancel it, I ran my mouth for an hour and 15 minutes, dude, and I didn't give you much time to talk. Anything you want to add? Anything coming up? Anything going on with your app that you want to share with people?
I'm currently adding a section because I have a section for BIP 110 and what's being signaled. I think it's like 2.5% right now. But somebody pointed out to me that I should add previous BIPs and information about BIPs, not just the BIP 110. So I'm working on that. I'm implementing and trying to make it user friendly where people could see past BIPs, get data on any current BIPs or BIPs coming up. And so I'm just little by little, I just add things that I feel like would help people out. It's kind of like a not like a shop, but one place where they could go to my app and they pretty much everything related to Bitcoin, whether it's miners and I added so I'm not gonna make it a full blown hashing hash rate app, but if you run a node and you have your personal BitX running through your node,
Uh-huh.
you could keep track of it on my app now,
Oh,
which
cool.
is for self-hosted. Yep. So you can not only like through CK pool where in public, you can also use your personal node to watch your bit axes. So I added that. So I constantly just update. Yeah, so that's pretty much it with the app. I'm always, whatever I think people would like or enjoy or related to Bitcoin, I try to add it. But yeah,
Fantastic.
not much for me. When I was I just came back from Europe. I was in Budapest for like 10 days.
Love that
And
place.
I haven't made a purchase with Lightning yet. And there was a couple places, like 4 or 5 that was close around that says they accept Bitcoin. I went to like 4 of them
Uh-huh.
and I couldn't, it wasn't there. Like it showed,
Ah,
but it wasn't there. So I was like hoping to make my first
that
transaction
would have
there
been
and I just
cool.
didn't work out. Yeah.
That would have been
So,
cool. Oh man.
yeah.
Well,
But that's it pretty much from on my end.
speaking of that, dude, I had two of my little it's not the file that you sent me. I had ones I already printed out for the Bitcoin accepted here. I had pre-printed two of them to bring with me down to Mining Disrupt, and I had them on Altair's table, and two different people actually came up to me. They're like, "Hey, where did you get that sign? I want to get one for my shop back home." And I was like, "Here." And I handed it to them. They're like, "How much?" I was like, "It's free. You're accepting Bitcoin. We're bros. put that out on your table. So I actually got to give 2 Bitcoin accepted here signs away for free while I was at the show, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I donated a bunch of them to, I don't know if you guys know Ranger on X,
Mhm.
Ranger and Chado. They're bringing it to the Midwest Bitcoin Summit.
Nice.
So you'll probably see a bunch of my signs there.
Right
And I
on.
put it on the bottom of the base. It says, donated by the Bitcoin Radar app. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and I actually, the files I gave you, I actually added them onto, what is it called on, shoot, I forgot the
Like
name of
Thingiverse or printables or one of those.
Maker, is it Maker Labs or
Maker
something like
World.
that?
Mhm.
Maker World, yeah,
Mhm. That's a
from
cool one.
Bamboo
Yeah.
Labs. So people could go and get the STL file and download them if they want to
Very
use them
cool.
for themselves. Yep.
Yeah. And I'll print them out for people if people need them. Like if anybody out there has a business and you don't do 3D printing and you want like a Bitcoin accepted here sign, just DM me. I'm just going to charge you for materials and shipping. Like I'm not trying to make money on that. That's helping the community. So it's going to cost you like $3 in shipping and like $1.50 in filament. Like it's really not much to make these things, guys.
Exactly.
So right on. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and call it here, guys. Appreciate y'all for coming out. We got 72 live viewers right now. Appreciate you guys. Next Thursday, we will do this again. Hopefully, Bobby can join us. We will go ahead and do this. We will do a the Hashpower giveaway. And instead of it saying that you're going to get a skin from the shop like it did today, I now have it properly set up that it will show you guys, like it'll actually say like that it's for a Hashpower giveaway. Okay. So it's fixed. I did it here while Bull was telling us about his stuff that was going on with Budapest. So that's fixed. We'll get that rolling. But congratulations again to 2sats. You are clicking away, brother. I see that. It looks like you're at 1.2 gig is what your best share is. So it's clicking away, man. Doing good. Guys, please keep an eye on my channel. We're going to have some other giveaways. Again, so this is going to sound, I'm going to kill the share real quick, Bull, so people can see this big screen. So guys, I'm sorry to do this to you. I hate to do stuff like this. Right here is that ad. If you're interested in W.GG, this drink, they partnered with me and they're like, hey, if we sell this energy drink powder, and he's like, they use your code, you get, they'll get 10% off. And then they'll also kick me a little bit. I'm going to turn all that. If I get any revenue off of that, I'm turning that right into the Hashpower giveaways. Okay. That's all that is. So if you feel like supporting the Hashpower giveaways, go to the guys at W.GG, buy some energy drink powder and give it a try. I ordered some so I can try it. I'll tell you this right now. If it tastes like shit, I'll take the ad off next week. But because I won't pimp something I don't like. But I have a couple friends that said that they actually do use it and they order from them frequently because they like it. They have like all like anime stuff on there too, like anime flavors, Chainsaw Man orange and stuff. So I was like, that's kind of cool. But anyway, give it a shot if you want, right? If not, no big deal. If you have a Bitcoin business or a business that you would like for us to kind of plug, what we ask you is, please go ahead and give us a donation for the Hashpower. We'll make the Hashpower giveaway for that week your plug. So you're basically buying your advertisement for the show, but we're just giving that straight back to whoever wins the Hashpower. Okay. So that's not me and Bull and Bobby making money off of that. We're just you're just that will sponsor that. If that makes any sense. I hope that's making sense right now. Had too many Red Bulls today, but anyway, that's what's going on. Bull, thank you so much for being here, buddy. I'm so glad that you had a good time over there in Budapest. And everybody else, you all have a good night. And we will see you next Thursday.
See you guys later.